deal, my people? You know what it is, the Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another one, and this one is the Game of Thrones Season 7 Prediction Q&A. And I'm back at you, back in front of the camera, so you might be wondering, what are you looking at right now? Well, you're exactly looking at the exact thing that is behind me when I normally shoot my videos. So I thought I'd switch it up a little bit for you and see how this looks and see if you like it like this. And if you do, please put it in the comment section and I will keep it going like this. And also, as promised, any Q&A that I will do live in front of the camera from now on. I've been asked for that for a long time now, over the months, to come in front of the camera and do the Q&A like this. I've been doing the stream Q&As in front of the camera, but I guess when I do a lot of streams, I live in a very rural area, so I don't have a good service, and it gets all junky and messed up. So I'm going to try to do a couple like this, so you can see me the way you're supposed to see me, and you can hear me the way you're supposed to hear me, so that way, you know, it all works out for people. But first and foremost, let me say congratulations to the Roarist for hitting 100,000 subscribers. I'm sure she's over 100,000 subscribers right now, but I didn't have a chance to congratulate her, so congratulations. You deserve everything you got. Hopefully you hit the 1,000,000 mark. Can't wait for you to do that, and I'm sure you will get there soon. Aurora is a very nice girl, very nice channel. Listen, she's someone who has 100,000 subscribers, to put me and other people, especially small channel like myself, on her channel. Not many people do that. That just shows you the content of this girl's heart. You know what I mean? So, big ups to you, girl. And I publicly apologize for missing the Valentine's Day video. Yes, I was supposed to be in that video, and I did not get a chance to record for that video. So I accept the public shaming that you have given me.
Shame. Shame.
And I want just to apologize to you in public. Because it's one thing to apologize for something that you're wrong about behind the scenes, another to say it in public. So, I bend the knee to you, my lady. Whatever you want me to do to make it up, I'm available. Get at me. Now, let's get to these questions. My first question is from my boy Jake Cruz. And Jake Cruz asks, do you think Longclaw is the original Lightbringer? I do not think that Longclaw is the original Lightbringer. I do believe that Lightbringer is Dawn. I think the story of Dawn, when you hear, was forged from a fallen star. I think the fallen star is Nissa forged to her heart. So I think that's why the title of Dawn, or the people that carry Dawn, get the title the Sword of the Morning, meaning that they bring in the light, they bring in the morning from the next dark age. And the fact that they say it doesn't have to be a Dane that holds that title, that sword can just get passed around, shows that that sword will be Lightbringer. Especially the fact that they had the sword leaning up against the bed in Jon's birth in the show. I don't think there's any reason to put that in there unless they're going to do something with that sword. And I think in the end, Jon will hold that sword. I think that this season coming up, we'll probably see Jon try to give back Longclaw to the Mormonts and give it to him. Now, whether they accept it or not, I don't know. But I do believe he will try to give the sword back to Jorah Mormont at some point, or back to someone in that family. Now, that would open up the gate for Jon to get Dawn. I do think he needs to have Dawn before this story is over, and I do believe that in the end he's going to take that sword and he's going to stick it through the chest of Daenerys Targaryen, and that will bring the flame out of the sword. I think right now it's dormant. That's why it's just wet, white, and just sitting there white. That's why it's just sitting there like that. But I think that in the end, that's what's going to happen with Dawn. So I think that Lightbringer is Dawn. I appreciate the question, homie. Let's get to the next one. The next question is from Meow TKD316, and the question is, what do you think will come out first, The Winds of Winter or GOT Season 7? I think that 100% it will be GOT Season 7. I don't expect to see Winds of Winter, maybe not even this year, to tell you the truth. Because I know George R. R. Martin has something planned that's coming out in like November, around there, October, November. I don't think he's going to want to compete with himself. And I also think that it's a book that's coming out with other authors. So I don't think that he would do that to the other authors in the book, because he knows once Winds of Winter comes out, it's going to overshadow everything. So not even just for himself, I think out of respect to the other authors in the book, that he won't put Winds of Winter out while that book is there. So I think if that book gets a little run, like maybe a month and 2 months, then after that, I expect Winds of Winter to drop. I do believe he has Winds of Winter written already. I think it's in the editing process, if it hasn't already been editing, but I do believe that it's written. Because from what we know about George R. R. Martin, he has so many chapters that he has moved from Dance with Dragons over to this book that he truly didn't have a true, real book to write. Well, for him, for a normal writer, it's probably a real whole book, but for him, the fact that he's moving chapters over into this book, I do believe he has a lot of it already written. So I think Winds of Winter will come out. Earliest would be in December, but I would look more of like January of next year for Winds of Winter to drop. The next question is from Queen Strader, and Queen Strader asks, does this mean that the Night's King is the third dragon rider? Thank you. Love your videos. Great as always. Well, Queen Strader, first off, thank you for the beautiful comment that you left there. I do appreciate it. And I will say this. Is the third head of the dragon the Night's King? I think that she is saying that because in that video I did Visions, Daenerys, and Bran. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. I say at the end of that video that there's no doubt that that shadow riding over King's Landing is the Night's King of going there, and he's going to lay waste to the city. So I think that's why that question is being asked. If you want to consider that the third head of the dragon, then I guess you can consider that the third head of the dragon. But I do believe that it's possible that someone else will still ride a dragon that is of regular human form. Whether it's Tyrion, whether it's Jon Snow, or whether it's someone, you know, I do believe that it's Paul Jaime Lannister possibly could be that. I do believe that there will be 3 human beings that ride the dragon too. Now, I do also think that Euron will ride a dragon, and I was asked another question from a subscriber, is it possible that that's Euron flying over King's Landing in the dragon? And I'm going to say no, not for show purposes at all, because I don't think we're going to see that in the show at all, Euron with the dragon horn. I think all we're going to see in the show is Euron and Cersei hook up like I predicted a long time ago, over 2 years ago actually. I think we'll see that, but we won't see the full extent of Euron, because this is kind of a watered-down version of Euron Greyjoy than what we're getting in the books. I don't think we're going to get the silence. I don't think we're going to get the warlocks with their legs cut off. I don't think we're going to get the dwarfs running around. We're not going to get that Euron. We're going to get the Euron that we've seen, and that's about it. And we're just going to see him hook up with Cersei and be on her side and everything else. Now, that also leaves an interesting question that Euron could be the Valancourt. And I think it's most likely a good chance that Euron is the Valancourt, especially in the books. When you see the Forsaken chapter and you hear about the lady that's standing next to him, the number one thing that they keep pointing out about that lady is that she's tall and she's pale, right? So we hear that about her, and when we hear the Cersei Lannister prophecy that she has a pale white neck. When someone wraps their hands around your pale white neck. The fact that we have pale in both of those leads me to believe that Euron could be the person that strangles Cersei to death when it's all said and done. That's my prediction on that one. That's what I think will happen. I said that before. I'm sure you heard it. But let's get to the next question. The next question is from my girl Renee M. And Renee M. asks, so does the Icy Iron Throne mean that the Night's King will defeat the 7 Kingdoms and take the Iron Throne? I think that the Night's King will defeat the 7 Kingdoms, but I don't think that he will sit physically on the throne itself. No, I do not think that that's his intentions. I don't think he has any type of plans to do that. I just think it means that the whole realm will be defeated, as you said in the comment, in the first part of your comment. I believe that he will defeat the whole realm. Now, we got to remember that when they first came, the White Walkers, they did defeat just about all of the world. If you really listen to Old Nan's story, you see they had everything all beat down. And it wasn't until the Children of the Forest came out of hiding and then showed man how to push them back and allowed man to push them back. Now, that was just a plan from the Children of the Forest to wipe out most of humanity and then come in at the end and act like the saviors. That's the way they pulled it out. And I've told you this before, that the Children of the Forest are evil. I'm the only one who ever said the Children of the Forest are evil. Anyone who's trying to say it now, we know why they're saying it, because they fans of Tony Teflon. And that's the way it really goes down. But from the beginning, I've told you that the Children of the Forest are evil. They are evil. They are against mankind. The only reason that they are coming forth with this story now of how the White Walkers were made is because their lives are threatened. If their lives weren't threatened, they would not be telling this story. They have no choice but to come out with it, or this secret would have been held for the rest of their lives. But the fact that their numbers are so small and they need the help of man, that is the only reason why they come out and trying to act like, oh, we did it just to do it. You know what I mean? But for real, the children of the forest are pieces of shit, evil green pieces of shit. The next question is from Paul Hartman, and Paul Hartman asks, shouldn't Bloodraven still be alive as he was absorbed into the Weirwood network? So we're going to have to go use some show stuff and then use some book stuff to answer this question properly. So, should he be alive because he absorbed himself into the Weirwood network? I agree that he should be alive. If you go with the Vlad Sixskins chapter, we see Vlad get put into the Weirwood tree when he dies himself and he becomes the whole land and everything else. For a reason, they're saying this. For show purposes, I don't think they're ever going to see the guy again. His physical body is dead. Now, would it have been possible for him to walk into something else before his physical body got killed? Yes, it would have been possible, but we see in the show that he was in the same vision of Bran at the time, when Bran was back in the day. So I don't think that he got out. Also, we must know that all these Weirwood people, they could all see the future. So he had to know when he was going to die. He had to know the Night's King was going there. That's why when Bran tries to lie to him and say, the Night's King touched you, and he goes, you're lying, he knew that Bran was going to get touched by the Night King. In fact, he should know everything that's going to go on. So I would say that, yes, he is alive in the Weirwood network, but he is not physical. His physical body is not alive, and I do not believe he walked into another animal before he died because he was in the same dream that Bran was at. So I think Bloodraven is out of here. Let's go to the next question. And the next question is from Taxi Driver Apple Chapel. Love it. And the question is, Jon would have to be in love with Dany in order to correctly forge Lightbringer. So I think when we deal with the Jon Snow, Dany, Nissa situation, it should be looked on like this. Azor Ahai was in love with his wife, Nissa. Yes, we know that. But I think the most important thing was that it was his wife. He was willing to sacrifice his wife for the good of the realm. And I think that Jon Snow will be married to Daenerys, engaged. And I think that we'll see a form of love between them this season. Now, whether that is true love, that they love each other, yada yada, like he loved Ygritte or like she loved Khal Drogo, I don't think it'll be that. But I think it'll be a love out of respect type love, and they'll have love for each other, and they'll want to be with each other, and they'll be willing to spend a life with each other. So I think it'll be more like that. And the fact that he will be married to her, it'll be his wife when he kills her. I think that is what it really means, the whole Nissa situation, that he killed his wife. So will Jon be in true infatuated love like he was with Ygritte or like Dany was with Khal Drogo? No, but I think they'll have enough love for each other that they will be willing to spend the rest of their lives together. And he's going to have to kill the woman he was willing to spend the rest of his life with. Now, we will have to say that the time is going to be much faster in the show than it is in the books. Because when they defeated the White Walkers in the books, it was years and years and years of fighting before that happened. We're going to see it basically in half a season, the whole battle end. So I don't think they have the time to develop their love story as much as they will in the books. In the books, it'll be shown that they really do love each other a lot, more than it will be in the show. And that's just, I think, just because it's got to be shortened for the show. But that's what I feel about that question. Let's get to the next one. And the next question is from Anthony Dowling, and Anthony Dowling asks, do you think we will see any masks and rods of the Archmaesters at any point? I think that they should put those in, and it just should be so easy for them to do it that there's no reason for them not to put that in unless it's just pure laziness. You know what I mean? They do a great job on the costumes, on the swords, and everything in the show. So I don't see why not. Give the fans something. You know what I mean? And I want to see that stuff. I truly do. So I want to see the rods, the staff. I want to see all that stuff. I want to see this Valyrian stuff. And I do, going from that, I think that we have to see Euron's Valyrian steel armor. I think we have to see that. So I think we need to see that full plate armor. I think they need to show us these things that they haven't shown us in the show. I mean, they've been good for a lot of stuff, but they must show us these rods and these staff. So my answer is yes. I'm going to go with the props department. They usually do a great job with props. Why not do it? That's what makes this show great. So my answer to that is yes. Let's go to the next question. And the next question is from Gaming with a White Guy, and Gaming with a White Guy asks, I have a question for you. I've been looking at this a bunch. We all know the serpents in her hair, slaying a giant. Anyway, I'm calling it now. I've looked everywhere for this. The giant is Tyrion. So I do believe that he's talking about what is going to happen to Tyrion. He's saying that Sansa will murder Tyrion at the end of it all. And I will say that I've never heard that before either. So this is Teflon Don approved that is Gaming with a White Guy's theory. Now, do I believe in this theory? I think that it's quite possible. We do hear Tyrion referred to as a giant many a times. And the way George R. R. Martin does work, it would be ideal that if they have the smallest guy there, that he would be the giant all of a sudden. You know what I mean? So it does make a lot of sense. I could get behind this theory. Now, a lot of people don't get mad when I discredit other people's theories. I'm just giving you my honest opinion. I'm sure people discredit theories that I've come up with, unless they stole them. But, you know, that's just the way it is sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But this theory, I definitely could stand behind. I can see Tyrion trying to make his way to Winterfell, trying to be with Sansa, trying to reclaim Sansa as his wife, and Sansa just sticking the dagger right in his neck and getting him out of there. I think Sansa is going to become a lot darker than we have seen her. I think she's eventually, I know she can't fight, but eventually I think she's going to have to take somebody out and kill somebody and take him out with her own hands. And it makes a lot of sense if that person is Tyrion. It would be a bittersweet ending for one of George R. R. Martin's favorite characters. If we know Tyrion's really a nice guy, but Sansa may not see him like this. Sansa may just see him as a Lannister at this point and just stab him up and get him out of there. So Gaming with a White Guy, that's a great question. Don agrees with you on that one. Let's get to the next one. And the next question is from Halo Montalvo, and they ask, why would the children of the forest want the dragons in Westeros? Well, I have explained this in my video before, but let me explain this to you right now. The reason why the children of the forest wanted the dragons in Westeros. Number one, we see Daenerys the Dreamer get the prediction that the doom is going to happen. Anytime anyone gets any type of dreams, we must know that it's the children of the forest or a green seer that is sending that over there. So the children of the forest sent her the vision that the doom is going to happen over there, right? After that goes down, they move their family to Dragonstone. The doom happens. Now, we know they did this because they know that they wanted the dragons to come over to Westeros because the children of the forest most likely wanted to take control of the dragons themselves so they can use them to kill mankind. Also, when we look at the children of the forest, we must understand who their enemies were at the time. If you look at the enemies of the children of the forest at the time, they were the Gardener Kings, right? The Gardener Kings and the Ironborn. And what happens when the Targaryens come over? They destroy all the Gardener Kings, and they destroy the Ironborn, Harren the Black, who was going on the Isle of Faces and chopping down their weirwood trees. So that was their number one reason for wanting the dragons to come over, because the children of the forest, as I said before, the MO is not to get their hands dirty. That's what warging is. Warging is an ability that allows them to take control of someone else's body so that they don't have to get their own physical body in harm's way. There's not enough of them to do war with people, so they have to use little tricks like this. So this was a trick of theirs to get the dragons to come over here to take down the two biggest enemies at the time. And that is why they used them to come over there. And that is the reason why I believe the children of the forest are evil motherfuckers. And I know people want to say everyone is gray and they have their own agendas. Yes, I understand. And we could say that. But for story's sake. And I know people will say that the children of the forest are a vast amount of people. And it could be a little certain segment of them that feel this way or a certain segment of them that feel that way. I'm not going to go into that. We don't know anything like that. I'm talking about the children of the forest that we all know about. You know what I mean when I say this. So that's why I say it. That's their MO. That was their plan from the beginning. And it worked. Because the Gardener Kings were killing the children of the forest, slaughtering them, and Harren the Black in them were also taking care of all their weirwood trees on the Isle of Faces, chopping them all down to make rafters in the Harren Hall. They could not have this anymore. And soon, it just so happens that those are the people that get killed by Aegon the Conqueror when he comes. You think that's just a coincidence, people? There is no coincidences in Game of Thrones. Trust me. None at all. So that's going to do it for this Q&A. I'll be back as soon as I possibly can. Let me know if you like this format, you like seeing me like this, or if you just rather me put a picture up there. If you're a guy, I don't care what you think. I'm just playing. You know how I do. So if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, please spread this across the realm, and please subscribe. And oh yeah, before I get into all that situation, please make sure that the bell is clicked on your YouTube channel so that it can alert you to any time I upload videos. Please make sure that bell is turned on and stuff so that you can see the videos that I upload. And let's get into this again. If you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, please spread this across the realm, and please subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.